Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. 皆さん、こんばんは。よいしょにしょる. And today I'm going to be showing the unboxing of some inventory, and these are from an Asian import, and I have to give credit to Jason, Drew, and the team for setting this one up for me. Honestly, it came left field. I didn't really have time to prepare, more like they just messaged me and I couldn't pass up on it, so here we are. So typically when it comes to anything that is imported, you really want to work ASAP. You want to go as fast as you can to ensure that they're alive, they're well, and also ensure that there's not any DOAs or dead on arrivals. So you're going to see quite a bit of cuts in this video in terms of editing, because I'm really just trying to get these guys going, making sure that they're set up in quarantine, and also ensure that I can get them back to being 100%. So let's get talking about these species. So this right here is the Veronica dwarf tarantula, or the Veronica dwarf earth tiger, also known as the Ornithotognine species Veronica dwarf. These are all female, there's no males in this batch, and they only get around 2, maybe 3 inches at maximum leg span. So we're talking 5 to 7.5 centimeters. Very tiny species, but very impressive species, I'll say that. Basically, if you like the earth tigers, the pet holes, but you want something smaller, or something with a bit of a peach brown color under their legs, this is the species I'll recommend. I wish I could have gotten more, honestly, because I wasn't too sure how these would do. The 5 of them that I've ordered, they're amazingly doing well. Honestly, I would say they're extremely hardy, I have to say that. Some of them do have a bit of a defensive behavior, as your typical old world tarantula, but if you want a small Asian species, this is the one to go for. A lot of Asian species in this hobby, when it comes to tarantulas, are relatively large. So typically, when it comes to dwarf species, a lot of them are New World tarantulas, and while there are a few Old World tarantulas, in terms of Asian Old World tarantulas that are tiny or dwarf species, they don't really come by often, but all 5 of them that I've ordered for my inventory, they will go up on the website next week, so get ready for that. And I do plan on putting all 5 of them up on the website for sale because they're doing well, they're eating, and surprisingly, these came in the best shape in comparison to everything else I ordered in terms of inventory. And all of these tarantulas that I've ordered, none of them I'll be keeping to myself. Every single thing that I've ordered here today will be going up for sale. And I didn't record everything because I just didn't have time, because as I stated, anytime you order anything that's from an import, you have to move fast because you don't know exactly their health or their condition as to when they came in through an import. So that's what I'm doing here. You can kind of tell by my recording that I'm just trying to get everything going as fast as I can to ensure that they're alive and if I can get them back to health. So to most hobbyists, you typically don't need to quarantine anything. The only times I quarantine tarantulas is for 2 reasons. 1 is if it came through an import from another country, or 2, if it has parasites. And sometimes, both. And one of the tarantulas that I did got was mislabeled and also came with parasites. And I'm gonna make a separate video on that, maybe a YouTube short as well. But that was pretty interesting. And for the most part, when it comes to most people who are selling tarantulas, by the time you get your tarantula, it's pretty much already been through the process and should be happy, healthy, and ready to go. And that's why I love what I do. It's not easy, but it's totally worth it. So typically what people do is once they bring in inventory, they immediately try to sell it, so that way they can try to make money back as fast as they can. But I actually kind of take a longer route. Before I sell, I have to ensure that they're healthy, they're eating, and that they're behaving like they should be, and also that they don't have parasites. But let us get back into the species. So in terms of captive bred specimens of the species, there has been a few, but very, very little. And that's really because there really isn't any males out there. If you have a male and you're looking for a female, I guess you can buy one from me, I guess. Because I have to say, males of this species is basically non-existent as far as I'm aware. So if you have a female, that's great, because I'm selling some. But if you're looking for a male, I hope you can find some. There are some captive bred slings as of recently that have just recently been produced over the past year, so that's a good starter sign. But in terms of more captive breeding for the species, we definitely need more. But I do love these little ones, and all of these are female and will be up on the website pretty soon. And now, let us move on to the next. And these are Sauropogopas species Bach Ma. They're also known as the Bach Ma Earth Tiger Tarantula, and these have been in the hobby for quite some time now, but they're still relatively expensive. As for slings, they're around $45 to $60, typically around $60 for a sling. And in terms of females, they're worth around $200 to $250. So basically what I'm hoping is that people will actually breed more of this species. And also I do hope that with this import of the species, we can bring a new bloodline, so that way it doesn't become too inbred. And I'm very proud to actually have some new fresh bloodline here, because as a reminder, everything that I brought in this inventory order is new bloodline. And since I do have a Bach Ma that I did sex as a male, I will be selling one as a pair, and I'm hoping that somebody will buy it in attempts to actually breed them, because they're not really easy to get as a pair, honestly. I do just plan on selling them for $200, which is honestly too low of a price for a lot of people, because I won't really make much back in terms of my net profit, but also because I'm selling a pair for $200, it basically means that I can't afford to actually keep them, because inventory order is very expensive. So it's kind of like a give and take situation. I can make it affordable, but in turn, I can't keep it, because then I'll be losing money. But if I sell it, I can break even, but in turn, I can't keep it. So it's kind of like one or the other, and in this case, I'm going to have to sell the pair. It's a loss on me, but a win for you, or to whoever buys the pair in the future for $200. And as I stated, typically a female of the species is $200, but to sell a pair for that price, it's like two birds with one stone. But I don't really plan on putting these up just yet for sale, because as you can see, they look kind of rough, so I do really want to make sure that they're stable and okay in captivity before I sell them. So it will be a while they're in quarantine, just until I can get them back up to being 100%. But let us move on to the next species that I've ordered in this inventory. So this species here is the Sauropogopas species Lam Dong. And I actually like this species a lot, which is why I ordered them. So I did order 6 of them, but one of the 6 was actually mislabeled, but the other 5 that came in are all female, so there basically isn't any males within this inventory order. But I truly do love the species. They're essentially a large Asian obligate burrowing species. They get around 6 to 7 inches as adults, and they look kinda similar to the Bach Ma, except their legs are a bit of a brighter color. They have a bit more of an intricate, unique abdomen pattern, and there's a lot of other finer details to identify them apart from other Asian obligate burrowing species. But just to put it simply, they're like a larger version of the Bach Ma, with a more unique coloration to them, and pattern as well. But I really do love them a lot. Sadly, no males came in, just all females. And I believe females were around $225 to $250, but I'm just going to sell them for around $165, maybe $150 for a female. And as I stated before, I have all females and no males. So I'm hoping that by making it affordable, someone with a male or someone that wants the species can afford to have it. Now, as I stated before, the Lam Dongs and the Bach Ma's came in really rough shape, so they're going to need the most quarantine time for me to get them back to health and ensuring that they're alive, eating, and doing exactly the way I want them to, because I don't want to sell anything that isn't doing well or shows signs of sickness, parasites. It is going to take a couple to a few weeks before I can be comfortable enough to sell them, but you can basically tell that the Sauropogopas species Lam Dong took the most in terms of beatings, in terms of import, with second being the Sauropogopas species Bach Ma, and surprisingly, the Ornithoctonine species Veronica dwarf took the less of the beatings. But you typically don't ship any tarantula on substrate. It's just that when it comes to imports, it's typically hit or miss on how they ship a tarantula through import. So my job now is to get these all the way back up to 100% and ready to go, And I know a lot of people don't really want to talk about this side of the hobby when it comes to the business, import, and things of that nature because it's not pretty, but I really try to be transparent with my viewers and to everyone. So I'm hoping that this point gets across so that way you don't just, see the bright lights and the positive side, but also see, the things that I go through and what other tarantula breeders and sellers can go through as well. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to stick around. And also, follow me on my social media and my website if you're interested in buying something from me. And without further ado everyone, thanks for watching, and stay lax, and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.